Jai Shri Ram, text completion. Let's start working. Hey, looks like somebody has put some tick marks here. Let us see. The premise that corporations are dashed to the opinions of their stockholders is a concept underlying much of modern investment advice. Okay. But in a world where the exhortation means urging, petition, vedukodamu, babu, please cheira, vinra. Exhort means to request sincerely. Synonyms are beseech, beseech, implore, implore, entreat, entreat, to entreat someone. To importune is also there, but that's an extremely negative word. Harassing somebody with a request. Importune, to importune. Importunate fellow. If you describe somebody as a very importunate fellow, importunate, that means he will nag you with a request, he will harass you with his request. Burra thinestada anamata. So exhorting means plea, petition, beseech, implore, entreat, and repeatedly request. But in a world where the exhortations of even the largest shareholders are dashed by many of the world's biggest companies, it can be difficult to imagine how these monoliths might be influenced. Monolith, huge corporation, single stone, two meanings. Monolith means a statue that is carved out of a single stone. Monolith means a huge corporation which is unyielding, uncompromising, a monolithic society, a monolithic culture. Saudi culture is a monolithic culture. See, there are many religions which are monoliths. That means they don't allow ideas from others. Even if the ideas are better than theirs, they won't allow. Unlike Hinduism, which is eclectic. 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 Eclectic means selecting from a wide range. Eclectic, that's the mnemonic. Eclectic. Hinduism is an eclectic religion because in the Vedas we are told that let noble ideas come from everywhere. That is, if anybody has a wonderful idea, noble idea, good idea, we Hindus will welcome it. But if it is a stupid idea, we will not hesitate to question it and debunk it and expose it as nonsense. That is being a Hindu. The Vedic mantra goes like this. Ano bhadra kratavo yantu vishwataha. Let noble thoughts come from everywhere. So Hinduism is an eclectic religion. Eclectic. Whereas others are all monolithic, unyielding, uncompromising. They will continue with their dogmas which are dangerous, but they will not yield. They will not compromise. They will not allow others' ideas. Okay. So monolith means something that is unyielding, uncompromising, huge and imposing. Though most large companies are publicly owned, businesses with omnipotent boards, very powerful, boards of directors are so dashed that changing the current system seems almost futile. Futile means useless. Let's look at the words. Inured, మొద్దుబారి పోవడము. Inured అంటే you are getting used to something against which you should actually protest. For example, we in India are inured to corruption because we see so much corruption every day, everywhere that it doesn't bother us anymore. We are also inured to squalor, squalor. Squalor means garbage. Litter bugs, you know who's a litter bug? Litter. Litter means, things strewn, strewn. Litter means things that are thrown here and there, littering the whole place. Strewn. They have strewn all the garbage all over the place. So litter bug, bug. Litter bug is a name for is a term that describes a person who throws garbage everywhere except in the dustbin. These rascals should be given a kick in the butt. So litter bugs are everywhere. We are becoming a nation full of litter bugs, which is dangerous. We should be doing Swachh Bharat. Now, where did I stop? Why did I get into litter bug business now? Inured. We are inured to squalor. Squalor has two meanings. Extreme poverty, it means filth and garbage, crummy surroundings, grubby surroundings. Squalid is the adjective. Squalid. Squalid surroundings, very filthy, dirty, garbage and gutter and everything flowing. So squalid also means very poor. So we are inured. Inured means, again I am repeating, You are getting used to. That means you have seen so much of it and you have got used to it and now you are indifferent, but actually you should protest against it. That is the meaning of this word inured. See, there are other words like blaze, blase, distaste due to overexposure. Cloyed. Blaze means loss of interest due to overexposure. Cloyed, cloyed, loss of interest due to excessive sweetness. Jaded, jaded, which means the same thing, loss of interest, or jaded can also mean cynical, very suspicious. So inured falls into the same group but with a slight difference. Inured means you should not get used to it, you should protest against it, but you're not, because you have seen so much of it, now it doesn't bother you anymore. So that's a dangerous word. That's a nice word actually. Subject, privy. Privy means private. Private. I'm privy to the discussion. That means I have the private discussion I know. That means secret information. Blank 2. Trivialized means something that is treated as very insignificant. Assimilate is absorb. Okay. Blank 3. Pervasive, widespread. Puissant, very powerful. Deviant. Deviant means a person who is, indulging in criminal behavior, abnormal, aberrant, devious, unnatural, aberrational, anomalous, kinky, kooky, very bizarre, strange, quirky. These are dangerous people. You see, studies show that children who are born into certain kinds of religious groups, certain religious societies, they from childhood they start showing violent activity. These people, even in their childhood, they exhibit deviant behavior and eventually become criminals. So if you see deviant behavior even in a family, in children, then you better watch out. That fellow is going to become something menacing for the whole world, whole society. So deviant means abnormal, kinky, perverted, anomalous and unacceptable. Okay. So let's pause here and start working. So that's a tough one, or we don't know anyway. Let us see. I think the answer has to be the premise that premise means assumption that corporations are subject to the opinions of their stockholders is a concept underlying much of the modern investment advice. So subject is fitting very well. It won't, inured will not fit, because the rest of the sentence, you see, if you read the rest of the sentence, the clues become clear. But indicates a contradiction. But in a world where the exhortations of even the largest shareholders are dashed by many of the world's biggest companies. So these biggest companies are being described as a monolith. So that means they are very huge and very large organizations. So elephants cannot dance or something somebody said. And somebody wrote a book, Elephants Can Dance. Anyway, so if it is a monolith, it's very difficult. So it should be trivialized and disregarded. In a world where the exhortations of even the largest shareholders are trivialized and disregarded, it will be very difficult to imagine how these monoliths can be influenced. This is a monolith, it cannot be influenced. Now again twist, though most large companies are publicly owned, they are publicly owned, but though the public are the owner, the businesses have an omnipotent board. That means they are very powerful. So if they are so powerful, though somebody else is owning it, now it is difficult to imagine how these fellows can be controlled. So business with owner are so pervasive, they are found everywhere. So these large corporations have omnipotent boards, and this is something that you will find spread throughout, pervasive, and therefore that will be very difficult. It is very difficult. So pervasive that changing the current system seems almost futile. Now third blank, this person has marked puissant. No, puissant doesn't fit. We are not talking about strength. We are talking about they are already omnipotent and therefore it's difficult. So that's a good one. Now we'll go to the next one. The renewable energy companies in competition for funding all had compelling ideas, forceful, but compelling ideas. But despite the dash nature of the solar panel firm and its research, it bested, please underline, bested. Bested means to do better than, to outdo somebody, O-U-T-D-U, to outdo, it's a one word. A outdid B, India outdid Pakistan. That means we bettered, we bested them. We bested Pakistan. That means we batted better than them. So best is being used as a verb here. Okay, it bested the more inveterate. Inveterate means habitual, chronic, over a long period of time. In attendance, dash the lion's share of the acclaim. Acclaim means praise. Okay, I'll read it again. The renewable energy companies in competition for funding all had compelling ideas, but despite the dash nature of the solar panel firm and its research, it bested the more inveterate competitors in attendance. Dash the lion's share of the acclaim at the festival. Now it became, if you read it with the right intonation, things become clear. So you can't read it aloud in a test situation, the neighbor will complain. So you have to sub-vocalize. Don't vocalize. Veteran, expert. Inchoate, just born, ippade puttindi, at a beginning stage. Indefatigable, tireless, cannot be fatigued. Blank 2, demurring, objecting, raising moral doubts and objecting on account of misgivings, reservations or moral doubts. Relinquishing, giving up. Garnering, gathering. Please pause and work while I too work. So the renewable energy companies in competition for funding all had come, but despite the dash nature of the solar panel firm and its research, it bested the more inveterate. See, the more inveterate competitors means that means these competitors have been there in the business for a chronic, long period of time. So that means this company should have been a new one. Therefore, the first blank should be B for Bravo. Inchoate, ippade ochindi, kotta company idi. So first blank is inchoate, somebody marked indefatigable, wrong. Doesn't fit. And ఇది కొత్తదైనా చిన్న కంపెనీ కొత్త కంపెనీ అయినప్పటికీ కూడా ఇట్ గ్యాదర్డ్. సో సెకండ్ బ్లాంక్ కూడా ఈయన ఎవడో తప్పు పెట్టుకున్నాడు పాపం. సో వొకాబులరీ లేకపోతే ఇట్లాంటి చిల్లర తప్పులు, ఇదంతా స్టాండర్డ్, చాలా సబ్ స్టాండర్డ్. ఈటీఎస్తో కంపేర్ చేస్తే వాచిపోతుంది. జాగ్రత్తగా ఉండు. ఇన్ ఫ్రంట్ దేర్ ఈజ్ ఎ క్రోకోడైల్ ఫెస్టివల్. నౌ గో టు ద నెక్స్ట్ వన్. Both the kingdom's poets and princes tended to speak of the storm-plagued mountain range. Okay, storm-plagued, underline chesko. Storm-plagued. To be plagued by something, that means, be affected in a negative way very strongly by something. Corruption-plagued bureaucracy. అంటే మన బ్యూరోక్రసీ అంటే ఏమిటి? ఈ సెక్రటేరియట్, ఐఏఎస్, ఐపీఎస్, ఈ ఆఫీసర్లు అందరూ అనమాట. బ్యూరోక్రసీ మీన్స్ రెడ్ టేప్, RED, RED-TAP, రెడ్ టేపిజం. బ్యూరోక్రసీ మీన్స్ all the government officers, bureaucrat means the high government official, IAS, IFS, IPS, IRS, all these people. So bureaucracy is a word with a negative connotation. Bureaucracy, red tape means too many rules and procedures, and the delays and all that. Okay, Germany is a very bureaucratic country, by the way. Bureaucracy was originally introduced to eliminate inefficiency and corruption, because bureaucracy law there will be many levels of hierarchy. That means junior officer, senior officer, some senior manager, joint director, additional director, then secretary, joint secretary, additional secretary, chief secretary, IAS officers. So there will be 10-15 layers. So the purpose is you can't corrupt all of them to eliminate corruption, and if one person makes a mistake, somebody higher up will correct it. So this was the twin objective of introducing bureaucracy, the original function. Germany is an extremely bureaucratic country, and they are very good. They are the best engineers, and there might be some corruption, but very less, and very, very efficient. So the same bureaucratic setup in India is the mother of all corruption and delays and inefficiencies. Because, well, I leave it to your understanding. So, see, bureaucracy per se is not bad. PERSE, per se means by itself. Bureaucracy by itself per se is not bad. We Indians are so cunning and so clever and so inventive and imaginative. But because when our role models were corrupt, for 70 years we had great corrupt leaders. Only after Modi ji has become the PM, there is a change. Otherwise, we knew right from 1947, all the so-called great Mahatmas were all corrupt. And they were undemocratic. They would be in jail today. So as a result, all of us became corrupt. So you cannot blame Indians for it. Now we will change. If people like Modi and Yogi are in power, then slowly we will be able to get rid of corruption. Anyway, because those fellows set the wrong example for us. Now You understood bureaucracy. So where are we? I think we finished it. Garnering the lion's share. Okay. Sixth one. Both the kingdom's poets and princes tended to speak of the storm plagued. Okay, storm plagued. So if you create this hyphenated word, storm plagued, corruption plagued, caste plagued elections, so you put a hyphen, plagued. Plague, as you know, is a disease which spreads by rats. Bubonic plague. So dash plagued or dash ridden, RIDDN, corruption ridden, caste ridden, bigotry ridden religions. So full of. Now, both the kingdom's poets and princes tended to speak of the storm-plagued mountain range in its northern territory as dash, that dash its inhabitants, while the eastern tribes, who were known for their reckless belligerence, belligerence means warlike, always ready to fight, reckless belligerence toward the kingdom, considered it to be a dash that even their most savage warriors would not dare to cross. Interesting one. Blank one, encumbrance. Encumbrance means a hurdle, something that causes a block, obstacle, something that will block, hinder, hamper, obstruct, trammel, TRAMMEL, stymie, STYMI, a boon, blessing. Augur, something that indicates the arrival of something else. Omen, shakunamu, a portent, auspice. Blank to jeopardize, exposed to danger or risk. Stymied, just now I told you, stymied means block, frustrate, hinder, hamper, safeguard, Blank 3, vulnerable, that means weak, susceptible, weak, and will easily fall prey to illness or can easily be fooled. Psychological vulnerability. Many Hindus are psychologically vulnerable because they don't study Bhagavad Gita. That is why they worship Grave Miya, Bonda Miya, Chand Miya, Bonda Miya, and all nonsense. So don't be psychologically vulnerable. Vulnerable opposite is invulnerable. Invulnerable means immune, very strong, like Hanuman. Nadir means lowest point. Juggernaut. Juggernaut means an unstoppable force that will crush everything in its path. Actually, Jagannath is the title of Sri Krishna. In fact, the word came from there only. Juggernaut means an unstoppable force that will crush everything in its path. Inexorable, implacable force. Okay. Now you pause and work on it, please. Somebody has marked. I don't know if it is correct. Don't be carried away by that. Okay. So northern territory. And if you look at the last line, he says, even the savage warriors would not dare to cross. That means they don't have the courage to cross this. Then this must be something very scary or something that cannot be overcome. So the last blank should be juggernaut, correctly marked, because vulnerability neither don't make any sense there. So sometimes you will notice that one blank is easier to catch. Now you go back, work backwards. So if you go back, that means even savage warriors who will, attack anything, even they don't want, because they know that if they go there, they will be crushed to death. So that means the people there are being protected. So safeguarded for the second blank in the northern as a boon. So they are treating it as a boon, and these people are considering it as a juggernaut, so they don't want to go there. And so this thing is actually safeguarding the inhabitants of that particular place. That's it. This person got it right. Okay. Jai Shri Ram.